By doing a side project, you can go and put out there the type of work you'd love to be doing and attract people to you. It's not like one of those things where you're just like, okay, now it's time to do a side project. It's like, all right, what am I interested in? Like, what am I inspired by? I did a project inspired by chat roulette, which was really popular like 5 years ago. And I just saw that like the whole thing with chat roulette was that people were getting naked on it, which, you know, isn't the classiest thing. But then I thought, oh, if people are gonna get naked on chat roulette, maybe I should use them as nude models to draw. And so then I just went and screen grabbed a bunch of naked people in chat roulette and did drawings on them. So it was like, you need to find some inspiration first in something that you're either, you can look at in a different way or be inspired by, or you're like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if? So I think you just kind of need to see what moves you and allow yourself to be open to that. If you see something that is ridiculous or funny or current, yeah, absolutely tap into pop culture. It's what people are obsessed with. It's what people are sharing online. So if you have a favorite TV show, you can make something about that and put it out there. It's like people are already out there talking about these things. And if you can come up with a really fun insight about this and your own point of view on it and insert it into the conversation, then it has some, maybe a little bit more likelihood to be able to be picked up and be passed around. And I think the biggest thing when you're doing a side project is do something that you're passionate about, and the likelihood that other people are passionate about it too is a lot higher. So.
Well, also that's the difference between a hobby and a side project. So a hobby you're doing maybe for yourself, and a side project, you said it's like a gift to the internet.
Yeah.
So you also want to create things that you know or you hope that has value for other people. So pop culture is sort of that, that medium ground.
This guy, a member of the site, illustrator Daniel Nairi, and he is obsessed with soccer, and I know he's obsessed with soccer because all of his illustrations are about soccer, or I think he's from Europe, so football, and now he's getting hired by ESPN and by Nike and by all of these brands to do illustrations about soccer. So he's soccer obsessed. He started putting work out there that was solely focused on soccer, and he was doing it because that's, he loved the teams and the players and all that, and now he's getting tons of work all focused on soccer. And it's like, that's like a perfect example of, he just did something because he was really passionate about it, and now he's getting to work on it and get paid to do it. There's so many tools out there to be able to make a quick, simple website, whether it's Tumblr or WordPress or Squarespace or whatever, and you can just put it out there. Lauren Home was student at SVA. She started a project called Daily Dishonesty. So she would draw and beautifully letter phrases that you kind of, little lies you tell yourself every day.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm never drinking tequila again. It's not you, it's me.
I mean, every single one you're like, ugh, you too? Yeah.
It's totally true. And
actually, no, that's what I love about her project is everybody can feel connected to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see yourself in it, and it kind of it endears it to you.
Yeah, and the great thing about her was she actually went to school for advertising. And so she was an advertising art director, got a job at a big New York ad agency, and she was doing this project on the side, and she really loved lettering. And about 6 or 8 months into her full-time job, she got so much recognition for this project that she quit her full-time job and just focused on being a letterer. And so she pursued that project. She ended up getting a book deal for Daily Dishonesty as a coffee table book, and now she's a full-time professional letterer. We hear from our members themselves that they're getting so much work just from their Instagram feeds. So like David Schwen is an amazing designer and animator in Minneapolis, and he does these really beautifully charming short little animations on Instagram, and he started getting project work from Target and from Twitter, and is now getting hired just because people discovered him on Instagram. And people are building these huge social followings and getting work specifically from people who discover them on there. And that's a way we find, a lot of times we find talent just through Instagram or Tumblr or Twitter, just people that are doing interesting things, and you come across them and you're like, oh wow, I want to collaborate with them, or I want to hire them. And I think that's happening more and more now, especially with Instagram and Pinterest. A lot of times you take the jobs because you need a job, and then if you're not getting the work and you're not doing the work in your day job that inspires you, you take that time on the nights and the weekends and you make it happen, and start doing the work that you want to be known for and you want to be hired for, and put it out there and share it, and hopefully it'll start picking up a little bit of steam, and people will come to know you for doing that stuff, and will ask you to do more of that.
And then also looking at the progression of the portfolio, all of a sudden there isn't a difference between the work that you were doing for yourself and the work that you do for your clients. Yeah. It should sort of look the same. I mean, that's kind of the goal.
Well, and I think that's part of the journey of building your own brand, and I know we talk about this,
a lot, yeah.
either before or after this segment. But like the part of building your brand is just doing the work that you're really passionate about and discovering your style and discovering your voice, and then it starts to kind of snowball and be able to do more work like that, and that becomes what you're known for. So Tim is an amazing New York-based designer, illustrator. He's done some side projects that have gotten him some notoriety. One project was 40 Days of Dating with him and his good friend Jessica Walsh. They were trying to change their terrible dating habits, and
it was a social experiment.
Social experiment, yeah. And so they decided, the saying is it takes 40 days to break a bad habit. So they decided to date for 40 days. And many people have heard about this project, 40daysofdating.com. It's an amazing blog. They documented every single date they went on and had a survey questions that they answered about, like, what did you learn from this? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the other one? And then they had really close friends that were designers and letters and illustrators do illustration for each day.
Getting all these other designers involved meant that they were going to share the project.
Yeah.
So already built into the idea and the foundation of the project was a way to get the word out.
It blew up bigger than they ever expected. They ended up doing an amazing coffee table book, 40 Days of Dating book, and they interviewed different couples, but now they are taking on more social experiments. So they're about to release in the fall a new project where they are shooting more original content and doing more experiments with themselves and trying to put themselves out of their comfort zones. And that's something I don't think either one of them you expected them to do, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, before they started that project. I think it's good to know not all of them are going to be a success, and not all of them are going to be the thing that changes your career, but you're going to learn something from all of them, whether they're huge successes or not, and then you just keep going. Like there's no wrong move with a side project or following your passions. It's just do the stuff that brings you joy and then learn from it, and everything's a learning experience, and then you keep iterating on that. Yeah. We're talking about mission statements, and we're talking about personal projects and side projects, and I think there's suddenly, like, even me talking about it, like, oh, there's this pressure now. There's this pressure. I've got to come up with my mission statement right now, and I've got to come up with this project. Don't sweat it so much. Put together a 3-word mission statement, even if it's 3 words that you think describe you or describe the work that you're excited about, the work that you see in others. Maybe that's actually a really helpful way to do it. Go and see what out there you're drawn to, and maybe go and look at if you love Jeff Koons' work, or if you love Stefan Sagmeister's stuff. Go and look at that and say, if I had to describe their work in 3 words, what would it be? What would be their mission? And then maybe that'll help you form your own mission. Making excuses takes the same amount of time as making progress. So even if you're like, oh, I don't know what it is or what's perfect or not, just start doing, start sketching, start writing down a list of like, what are things I'm passionate about, and then start making it. And it's also kind of good to do something today and then put it online and share it with others. So even if it's not the exact thing you think you're gonna do or whatever, make something right now and share it, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Like, put it out into the world and just like see what happens. And I think that's the best thing, just to get started and just start making stuff.